Now, Behind the Law with Justin Clark and Allie Mack on ESPN 580 Orlando.
And welcome to the program. It's another edition of Behind the Law right here on ESPN 580 Orlando. Thank you for spending your evenings here with us. You can also watch the program 4 o'clock in the afternoon at Behind the Law Radio on Facebook, Instagram, any social media platform. Also, don't forget to check out the TV show. It's Behind the Law on television this Sunday and every Sunday, 10 a.m. on TV 27. Allie Mack is at an inspection, she says. The beautiful Brianna is here. Hello, Brianna. How are you?
Awesome. How are you, Justin?
I'm great. We're going to do a little bit of news. We'll do what's going on with Allie Mack with Brianna and Justin, I guess. We'll play Stump the Clarkie in the second half hour. We're also going to talk about the Under One Roof Expo taking place tomorrow night, 6 o'clock p.m., Ace Cafe in downtown Orlando. We're going to have Mecca Builders there. You have Mortgage, Core Title. The law firm will be there. GC Wealth Management, and I Know We Insurance. So it's a great place for you to network, but also figure out how to, really fix any sort of financial problem you have or answer any real estate question that you have. And the best news of all is it's free, Brianna. It costs nothing to go there, and this is your official invitation. Mm-hmm. All you have to do is show up. I mean, I guess you can register or something, right? I don't know. How do you register?
Yeah, you can either follow us, go on the Facebook. We have search for Under One Roof Expo, or just go on Eventbrite and type in Under One Roof Expo.
So we will hope to see you tomorrow. We have a very special guest in the studio today. I've got Dallas Lehman. He's with You Have Mortgage, Hamid Panchal with Core Title, and Ali Asmar with Mecca Builders. Ali, I want to start with you for a second.
Okay.
Because I had no earthly idea until yesterday doing this program that you're giving something away tomorrow night. I was like, this has got to be some kind of joke.
No, that's right.
What is it? Tell me about this.
Giving away $10,000 for a new kitchen.
$10,000. How do you win? How do you register to win?
At the show, we're gonna have raffle tickets, and lovely Brianna will be giving them out to everyone, and we'll do a raffle at the end of the day.
So this is legit. If someone's going to win a $10,000 kitchen
correct.
tomorrow. Now, what is the rule on, like co-owners and partners and things? I guess I can't.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're
man.
off limits.
You're not winning a kitchen tomorrow, Justin.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going now.
We're off limits.
So Mecca Builders, obviously a big-time construction company here in town. I mean, how is business right now? I mean, we all saw 2006, the construction industry was booming, going crazy. Then we also took 2010, 11, 12, terrible. And then it seems to have come back. What are you seeing out there right now when it comes to construction?
We are back right where 2006 were, so it's a little scary.
Yeah.
Just hope we don't have another bubble, but it's very, very busy out there.
How do you find most people actually pay when they want to do a remodel of their home? How do they pay? Is it mostly a refi? Is it just like cash out of their pocket? I mean, you're talking about a remodel of a house is not a cheap venture. I mean, I know you do very reasonable prices and things, but it's an expense, no doubt about it. How do you find people normally pay for this construction?
A lot of people do refis. They take the equity out of their house and then they do a refi. A lot of people just save up for it, and we might do it in phases, depending on their budget and what's most important to them.
Got it. And Dallas Lehman, let me bring you in here as well. From You Have Mortgage, do you see a lot of people getting refinances on their homes now to actually do construction projects?
Yes, I've actually been speaking with somebody last month, and we're getting ready to start his project actually this month. But yes, as Ellie said, a lot of people have equity in their home. They like to use that equity, pull it out, and then just do the construction themselves. Either hire a GC, a contractor, or do it themselves. And then there's the other option, too, of a construction-to-perm lender, which is also another route. But yes, refi is also a good way to go.
A lot of people in 2006, they could be waiting tables down at Disney, whatever, and making very little money. Yet they could go get $1 million home just by having a pulse and a pen. All they had to do was sign that mortgage paperwork, and boom, now all of a sudden they own $1 million house. And I think the real reason was people back then were flipping homes. So they were like, I don't care about how much the mortgage payment is because I'm just going to flip it anyway because the housing prices are booming. But then we went through this terrible bubble. As we all know, we all lived through it. Everyone in this room, we know exactly what happened back then. And things changed. And then lenders weren't lending at all, period. I mean, you essentially had to have pristine everything to even get a loan, to the point where the only people who could get a loan were people who didn't need a loan, period, because they had enough cash sitting around, Yeah. But I think that some people today are concerned, and they think that even if they had a foreclosure in 2008, or filed bankruptcy in 2009 that they can't get a loan, they don't want to see their credit. What is it really like in the lending world now? How easy or hard is it to get a mortgage? Is that a little closer?
You're spot on with what you said. Quite honestly, there were stated programs. There were no income, no asset programs in lending. You talk about the pen and the pulse. It was very easy to get a loan and then flip it, take the equity, do it again. It was a strange market. Then we tightened up, as you said, but everything comes around again. There's a pendulum effect. And I would say within the last 3 years, I've seen some of these programs coming back. Nowhere near what they used to be, but the standards for lending have gotten a little more loose with lending programs. So, I've said it before, because of the company we have here, there are programs. If somebody is 1 day out of foreclosure, if they're 1 day out of bankruptcy, where you wouldn't have seen that years ago, like you just said, Justin, those programs have come back. Now, a couple of years ago, you never would have seen that. They would have said, you're crazy. But they are out there. Those programs are out there. So there is a loan for everybody out there.
So You Have Mortgage will definitely be at the Under One Roof Expo tomorrow night, as will Mecca Builders. Ali Asmar will be there as well. So please come see us. Another company that will be there is Core Title. Hammett Panchal, the owner of Core Title, happens to join us here today. How are you, sir? Thanks for being here.
Great, thank you.
So let me ask you, because I think a lot of people get confused a little bit when they go to purchase their home. They see what used to be called the HUD, and it's all these weird numbers that really can look foreign to someone who has never bought a house before, or even if you have bought a couple houses before, you don't know exactly what all these numbers are, how they really all add up, and you kind of wonder if you're getting screwed or not sometimes. But my understanding is that it's not called a HUD. Did that change?
Yeah, if they're getting a loan, it's called a closing disclosure now. It has a lot of the same figures. It's supposed to be a lot more user-friendly. In my opinion, I think it's got too much information. You know, people look at it, they get overly confused. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the forms have changed. They're trying to make it more user-friendly, but I think it's had the reverse effect.
I get this question all the time at my law firm. It's, who pays for title? Who pays for title? I don't even know what that question necessarily means, but who pays for title?
Well, generally, the easy way to figure out is whoever picks title pays for it. Okay. Usually on a sale, the seller picks it, so they will pay for it. But, it's all negotiable. Anybody can pay for it and pick it if they want.
Then how does it work? I mean, how much does the title insurance, if I'm buying a home, I definitely want title insurance, right?
Definitely.
Okay. And how much does it cost? Is it like if I go through you, is it going to be more expensive than if I go through the guy down the street? I mean, how is title insurance really, how do we figure out how much it costs?
Well, the title insurance premiums, they're all standard in Florida. So whether you pick a particular title company here or in North or Miami, the rates are the same everywhere. So they're all standardized.
State regulated or?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've heard rumors that in some states, typically the seller pays for the title costs, and I know here in Orlando the seller generally pays, but I've heard other states where the buyer pays. But I've also heard that there are certain cities in Florida where, generally speaking, the buyer pays. Have you ever heard that before? Because I've heard in Miami that it's very typical for the buyer to pay the title cost, whereas in Orlando it's very clear that the seller normally pays.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine every region has their own customs. By and large, it's customary in Florida that the seller usually pays, but I would imagine maybe some towns or locations have different customs.
And I know that we created this new law called, for short, TRID, recently. What sort of changes did TRID bring to the title community?
For us, it basically was that the lender mainly had to disclose to the borrowers all of their figures several days ahead of closing, whereas before, I know when I was a loan officer back in the heyday, they'd be lucky if they got an hour ahead of closing.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest change in my eyes, is that they had to get all these numbers finalized like 3 days ahead of closing and give them a chance to review it, ask any questions.
You've been shopping around for the new home and you found your dream home. But after 2 days, you find out there's something about it you don't like. Is there really a 3-day right of rescission when it comes to real estate in Florida? Let's answer that question right on the other side of this break. It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Well, nice of you to join us, Allie Mack. What have you been doing? I hope saving the planet or something.
Playing hooky.
Oh, my gosh.
No, I'm actually purchasing a house, so we were doing the home inspection, and
Well, quite a timely conversation then. We're talking today about the Under One Roof Expo tomorrow night. This is your official invite. We want you to come join us. We're going to have all the businesses out there. If you have any questions about real estate or financial advice, you're going to want to come. It is Ace Cafe, downtown Orlando, tomorrow night, Thursday night, 6 p.m. Look, you can go watch the basketball games right after, or better yet, watch the games at Ace Cafe. Mm-hmm. They have tons of TVs there.
Is that what you're going to be doing?
Look, I'm going to network for the first hour at 7:39 p.m. You're not going to see me again. I will be next to a TV with a lot of orange on it.
Is it? Really?
Yeah, Tennessee. I'm an alumnus of Tennessee.
Are you going to wear your jersey? Or
No, I don't really do that.
Why don't you do that?
I don't know.
Are you going to wear your hat?
I just don't. I'm not a big jersey wearer guy. Okay. This is not my thing.
No.
Yeah, I don't like to. I don't know.
A little pin, maybe.
Maybe no. Probably not even a no.
No. Okay.
But anyway, all right. But let's talk to Dallas Lehman here a little bit. He's the owner of You Have Mortgage, and I know you don't want to talk about rates, but let's talk about rates historically speaking, because I remember a day when a young man named Jimmy Carter was president. People were paying upwards of 20% interest for their primary home. 20%. This is incredible. I mean, the payment difference between what a rate is now and a 20% is just unbelievable. Talk to me about how interest rates are now, historically speaking.
Right now, we're in a very great place with the economy and with what's going on now with the president and the economy. I think right now we're looking at historic rates. I intend that those rates will continue to stay low from now through the end of the year. As we know, the Fed spoke on Wednesday. The news was always very encouraging, historically when they speak now. And what they said was they're going to hold rates down. So where we're looking at, and I like to give a range because everybody knows rates change hourly, daily, weekly. They go up. It's a wave. They go up, they go up, they go down. But the bottom line is we're looking anywhere, if you were to look at a conventional rate mortgage, anywhere between 4 3/8, 4.5 today maybe for a conventional loan. And I anticipate probably through year end they're going to stay, right in that range. I would say anywhere from 4.25, maybe up to 4.875. If they're going to get on the high end this year, if there's a spike, economies around the world, any incident, any major news, the bond market, all the reports that I look at tell us that things can spike. So if they spike, let's say they hit 5 1/8, let's say they hit 5 1/4, and you talked about Jimmy Carter, we are still in the most historically low rates that have been around for forever. I've talked before about when I bought my first house in 1991. Perfect credit, reserves, everything, great job. I got 9.125, 9 1/8 back in 91, which was, a great rate back then. 2 years later, I did a refi, everything was even better, got down to 7 1/4. Thought I'd have that rate forever. I didn't want to change it. It was absolutely fantastic. And now we're talking about rates that are in the 4s. I mean, this is just, if you're going to buy a home, all the indicators that I look at, all the economic data that I look at, every report that I look at, from the bond market to the economy to all the things I look at every day, assure me that we're going to be in a good place in the 4s, mid-5s throughout the rest of the year.
It's Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando, talking to Dallas Lehman, owner of You Have Mortgage. I hear this all the time. The Feds met and they said so-and-so. What in the world do the Feds have to do with the interest rate I've got to pay for on my home?
Well, that's a good question. It's sort of like the Vatican. You go in, the smoke appears. They have these. They have these conversations and all the rest of it. So the bottom line is they determine what the basic rate is, and then all the other lenders out there that you're dealing with, whether it's a bank, whether it's a broker, no matter who it might be, they're going to tack on just a small percentage to get the rate where they have to do on the retail and the wholesale side. So they set the prime rate is basically what I'm saying. Very few people, nobody gets the prime rate. So everybody gets that rate. When you hear, for example, if you hear rates on the news and they're talking about the prime rate or whatever, every lender out there is prime plus something. So nobody gets prime. But that, usually the Fed is working with the prime rate. They're looking. You're talking about what they discuss when they're in those meetings. They're looking at the bond market. They're looking at stocks. They're looking at GN, the gross national product. They're looking at every economic indicator, and those are the discussions they have that determine that rate.
Sometimes people will come to me and say, "I'm paying $1,800 a month PITI." What does that mean?
Principal, insurance, taxes, and what is it? PITI.
Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. I would
Correct.
think.
Thank you. PITI. That's what it is. So the first half of
I
that.
guess I
payment-
kind of knew the
question.
answer.
Very good, Justin. Now, that principal and interest is the first part of that payment, which everybody pays, and then the last part of that is your hazard or homeowner insurance, and then your taxes. Now, people can pay that two ways. You decide how you want to pay that. You can pay the principal and interest yourself to the bank, to the lender, and after that, you can do your own escrows. You can pay your own taxes and insurance. You can set that up. However, if you go PITI, you elect to have the lender collect your escrows and impound those for you, usually setting those up for you, and then that's included in your PITI per month, those taxes and insurance.
Do you recommend escrowing, and if so, why?
I do. Very few people are, and I shouldn't say this, I shouldn't make general statements because that's not a good thing. But the way the industry likes to do this and the way lenders like to do this is they like to feel that they are setting up a discipline for the lender that they don't have to worry about. When I say that some people aren't disciplined, some people sometimes don't set enough aside for that homeowner's insurance policy each month, or they don't set aside enough for the taxes each month. So if you look at it logically, for the borrower, if the lender is going to set that up for you, you're covered. It makes it much easier for the borrower to have it in the PITI, as we said.
If I'm listening right now and I'm thinking about going out to get a mortgage and I want to get a free review, if I want to get a quote from Dallas Lehman, if you have a mortgage, how is the best way to reach out?
Simply call me, 407-383-8913. I'll be happy to do a free pre-qualification for you, pre-approval, very simple process. You can also stop by the office anytime it's convenient for you. We work on weekends. We work on evenings. We're always available to the work schedule of our borrowers, and happy to do it.
People say, well, I'm banking at Wells Fargo already. I've got my checking account there. I might as well just do my mortgage there as well. I mean, what's the benefit there?
Well, you're going to be a number. You're going to be a number. And basically, if you look at the mortgage, if you look at what they're giving to you on your savings at Wells Fargo, which is probably 0.001 in return on interest, you're really not going to get that tremendous deal. When you work with somebody like me, you're obviously working with someone who's an expert, and I'm going to be the one that is working on your loan with my processing team. You have the advantage of looking at several lender options. In other words, Wells Fargo is going to give you what they offer, what they do in the favor of Wells Fargo, and then of course you're the secondary part of that. With me, obviously, or somebody like me, I'm going to look at several different lenders, at least 3, 4, 5, 6 different lenders, and then make a decision and say, you know what, this seems to be your best option. Let's look at that one.
Allie Mack, how did the inspection go today for you, really?
It didn't go so good.
Why? The house was crap?
It's an older home, and
Yes.
we were originally they said a newer roof.
Mm-hmm.
What's a newer roof exactly? Is it 10 years old? Is it 5 years old?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, apparently it probably has like about 5 more years left to it.
What are the lending requirements on that, Dallas? I mean, if someone comes in and they want to get a loan to buy this new dream home, but the roof's 20 years old, I mean, can you get a loan or no?
That's going to be on the inspector. It's also going to be on the type of loan, conventional, FHA, or VA. I was looking at one today where the appraisal came back. It had 16 years, I believe, of life that has been elapsed, which tells me, they told us, it has 2 more years of useful life left.
Oh, wow.
So it really depends on, number one, the loan. Also depends on the inspector. How good is that inspector? Inspectors vary. Some are good, some are new. So you just never know.
Well, we hit a little snag because the listing said 1 square footage. The property appraiser says another square footage. We got an appraiser to come in and give an estimate on the square footage, and they're all 3 different.
Nice.
My goodness.
You might want to move along.
So we're like, what?
Move along to another home.
So it didn't go good.
Come see Dallas Lehman tomorrow night at the first annual Under One Roof Expo. This is your official invitation. Tomorrow night, 6 p.m. Ace Cafe. And let's say you are a homeowner or you're buying a house. I mean, how old is too old for that roof? Let's ask Ali Asmar of Mecca Builders that question right on the other side of this break. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Welcome back to the show. It is Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. My name is Justin Clark. I've got Allie Mack to my left. Hello, Allie Mack. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
And the beautiful Brianna to my right. Hi, Brianna.
Hey, Justin.
It's rare that all three of us are here together. It's like the band's all back together,
That's
huh?
true.
Wow, I
and
feel
we're playing
good.
musical chairs too.
I know. I don't even know who I'm talking to anymore here. We're a mess, too. I'm a little, like, flu-ridden, I believe. Do I sound like it?
You sound better than yesterday.
Oh,
though.
great. Thank
sound
you.
a little better. Are you still on NyQuil this
Yeah.
morning? I mean,
it's,
today?
it's either NyQuil or DayQuil. I try to just remember what time of the day it is, you know?
Your eyes are a little glossy
Thank
too.
you.
So.
Yeah. They're red?
And I'm sitting closer to you. I'm gonna move.
I'm trying to cough the other way. And then this guy went to the ER last night, too. We're just a mess in this room right now.
It's a cesspool in here. Don't breathe the air.
We're here today talking about the Under One Roof Expo. It's tomorrow night. This is your official invitation from me. Come say hi to me. Say hi to Allie Mack. Say hi to Brianna. It is tomorrow night, 6 o'clock p.m. at Ace Cafe, downtown Orlando. There's plenty of parking. We've got drinks. We've got food. But we're giving away something. Ali Asmar from Mecca Builders is here, and he will be there tomorrow. And I've heard, and Allie Mack's getting all excited over here, too, that you're giving away a kitchen? Please tell me more.
That's right. We're giving away a $10,000 kitchen for the lucky person.
Yeah, one. Yeah, one.
Yeah, it's just one. It's just one.
So Ali, I have a question.
Sure.
Who exactly is eligible? And what my main question is, if I'm eligible.
Do you remember those contractual negotiations you and I have been going through the last few days? You remember that contract you sent me? I think that makes you non-eligible for the kitchen.
You mean I should have waited?
Yeah, you should have waited until May for the.
I already ordered business cards though. Man.
So seriously, Ali, how do we win?
So pretty much just show up. I'm going to visit, all the companies that are going to be there, and they'll be handing out tickets. And at the end of the evening, we're going to call somebody, the winning
All right. Mecca Builders will be there. Let me ask you a couple of questions. I'm thinking about redoing a bathroom in my house. Nothing nice. I mean, just a kind of relatively small bathroom with just a shower, not even a bathtub.
Okay.
What's that going to cost me?
Is it a master bath or just
No,
like a
let's say
kid's
like a
bath?
side bath.
Side bath?
Yeah.
Just depends. I'd say, it all depends, but anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000.
That's it?
Yeah,
That's not too
for a
bad.
small bathroom.
All right, master bath. What is that going to cost? What should I budget?
20,000.
20,000.
Up there.
Really?
Want something nice.
Yeah.
Oh my
You can
god.
go all the way. We just finished one for about 380,000.
A bathroom?
A master bath.
Oh, I would be afraid to even shower in there.
Yep. That's
I was thinking, what about kitchen? What are the ranges that you see for an average size kitchen, full remodel kitchen?
full remodel, floors, cabinets.
Yeah.
Floors, cabinets, starting probably 35, 40,000.
Ending up at
It's
hundreds and hundreds of
Yeah, it
thousands.
can go,
Really?
we've done kitchens for 30 or 40,000, 50,000, then we've done them up to $500,000 just for the kitchen.
What do you see the biggest return on investment when it comes to people doing refurbishments of their house? Where do they really make the money back?
I would say kitchen, because that's the gathering place.
Yeah.
That's where when you have a get together, everybody hangs out in the kitchen, so you want that to look the nicest. And then also the outdoor space. Florida's big on outdoor living, so summer kitchens, pergolas, things like that are just great to have.
I mean, the obvious follow-up question that I have is, what's a pergola? No, I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea. Do you know what it is?
Is it contagious?
Yeah. We don't know. Do you know what a pergola is, Brianna?
there you go.
Like a Florida room? What is that?
I don't know. I don't know. Hammett, do you know what it is?
Is it right next to a gazebo?
It's kind of like
I mean, I know that it's
like-
outside in the outdoor kitchen area, but that's it. What is it?
Pergola.
It's just like a structure with trusses, and it's open. You can put like some lighting in there. It's just real nice.
That's nice.
Like a box?
Yeah.
Like a box.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. I still don't. We'll have to
Outdoor
Google.
box.
It's nice. Google pergola.
We'll have to Google pergola. I don't even know how to spell it. Pergula? Pergola?
Pergola.
Yeah, Brianna, you might want to Google pergola, because I don't know what that is. And how much does that cost?
They probably start at maybe 7,000 or 8,000
Ugh.
and go up to
These are nice.
30 or 40.
What about just a good old fashioned paint job on the exterior of my home?
Oh, we could do that.
So 2,000 square foot house. What's the average price for
$3 a
something?
square foot.
$3 a foot.
$3 a square foot.
Okay.
So let's just say you have a 3,000 square foot house times $3.
$9,000?
Yep.
I did that quick.
Well, I have a question as far as what about resurfacing a pool? So how much is that? Is that
interior?
something?
Yep.
The interior.
The interior, yeah, we can do that.
How much is that, as far as?
Square footage. So it's a standard pool, like a 15 by 30 pool, which is a standard Florida pool. That'll probably run about $7,000. 7 to 9,000, depending on what kind of finish you want. There's different kind of finishes. There's Pebble Tech. There's the old Marsite that they used back then, but Pebble Tech is probably the best thing out there.
Got it.
That's interesting.
So you think the outdoor kitchen is the way to go when it comes to increasing the value of your home?
Outdoor kitchen.
I gotta do that soon. I've been wanting to do that for a while.
Let's go
Like,
out
what do you
there.
think it costs me regular retail price to do my outdoor area?
At a regular retail
Yeah.
price, it'll cost you about $1,500 a linear foot.
Oh, all these like math problems.
Stop yourself.
So
Can't
if
you just
want-
give me real numbers?
So if you wanted to do a 10-foot outdoor kitchen,
Yeah.
that's about $15,000.
Dang.
That's
I might have to
need
call.
that extra kitchen.
No, but I might want to call Dallas Lehman and refi.
yeah, there you go.
You know?
That's true.
There you go.
That might
Or
work.
I can get a couple of 12 packs and I'll be over there on the weekend.
Nice. All right. Sounds like.
That apply for everybody.
You're listening to Behind the Law, ESPN 580 Orlando. Justin Clark here with you. I've got Ali Mack. I have Brianna Ali Asmar of Mecca Builders. Also joined today by Hammett Pinchall. He is the owner of Core Title. Hammett, what do you see mostly? What sort of issues are you seeing at the closing table that is stopping deals from actually closing? What are some red flags I need to be on the lookout for?
Lately it's been a lot of issues with properties. Just when people are doing their final walkthroughs, the property's not in the same condition as it was when they initially looked at it. The sellers are moving out and not cleaning up after themselves, or they took something they're not supposed to. So, that's been lately happening quite a lot. I would say a lot more than normal, which has been delaying closings.
What are some of the biggest questions that you get when people are here for closing and reviewing the settlement statement or whatever we're calling it now? What is it called technically?
Closing disclosure.
The closing disclosure. Yeah. What is the biggest confusion when they're looking at, like, what is this? I don't understand this. This doesn't add up. What's the most complicated part of it?
You know, the biggest thing I'm noticing is, like, they just don't understand what some of these figures are. There's so many figures in there. They don't know what's theirs. They don't know what the buyer's is. They don't know what they're paying or what the buyer or the seller's paying. So that's where we go in there. And I'll go in there and just explain to them exactly, this is your fee. This is what you're liable for. This is the other side. This is what they're paying. So they kind of understand their part, the other party's part. And then, hopefully by the end of that conversation, they'll know a little bit better, what they're paying and what they're not paying. Explain
to me a little bit about prorations, like tax proration, because I think that can be a little bit confusing for people sometimes as well when they're like, I don't understand. Say I'm buying a home, and I go there at the closing table May 1st, and I'm like, well, why are you giving the seller credit for $2,000 of taxes? Why am I paying them for this? Can you explain how this proration thing works?
Yeah, so the property taxes are due in November. So we can't really pay this year's property taxes until then. And really, we won't even know what the property taxes will be until that time as well. That's when the tax collector lets us know this is the tax bill for this year. So really, all we're going to do is, if they close in May, we're going to estimate from January up until the day of closing in May what the property taxes were based on last year's amount. And then we're just going to credit that to the buyer. And then the buyer basically takes that money, keeps it or whatever. So when the tax bill comes out in November, they'll pay the whole year's worth at that time. So that's the proration.
Do you find people confused by that sometimes or no?
A lot, yeah. It's definitely a little bit harder to explain, but,
Do you find a lot of really good real estate agents or mortgage people who really have their clients prepared for closing, or does it normally fall on you as the title guy?
Lately I've been actually seeing that the lenders are doing a much better job of explaining all of that, because I think because of the TRID, they have to disclose all this 3 days before. So I think they really vet a lot of those questions for us. So by the time they get to the closing, they're already familiar with the closing disclosure. They already know what a lot of these things are. So it's been actually making my job a lot easier.
One final segment ahead, talking about the Under One Roof Expo tomorrow and your chance to win a free kitchen just by showing up. Tomorrow night, Ace Cafe, 6 p.m. It's the first annual Under One Roof Expo. One more segment ahead of Behind the Law on ESPN 580 Orlando.
Now back to Behind the Law with Justin Clark, right here on ESPN 580 Orlando.
One final segment ahead of Behind the Law with me, Justin Clark. Allie Mack is here. The beautiful Brianna's here as well. We're talking about the first annual Under One Roof Expo that I want you to come to tomorrow, 5:30 p.m., I guess. I've been saying 6 for like a week, but now I'm being told it's at 5:30.
I don't want to correct you.
Yeah, well,
just saying.
but it doesn't matter. 5:36. It's going to be it's a few hour affair, so you can come whenever you want. But it does technically start at 5:30. It's at Ace Cafe in downtown Orlando. It's free. We'll have food. We'll have drinks, and we're also giving away a $20,000 kitchen compliments of Mecca Builders and Ali Asmar.
20?
What? 10,000.
Yeah, like why are you hacking the price up?
Look,
You almost gave him a heart attack.
I'm on a lot of NyQuil. I think I might have took the nighttime stuff, not the daytime stuff.
His face though.
He said 20.
Yeah.
You put up the other 10, Justin?
Hey, whatever. It doesn't matter. But you know what I was thinking that we should do in celebration of the Under One Roof Expo tomorrow? I think we should play a game against each other here of Stump the Clarky.
Okay, folks. All right, and now it's time for Stop the Clocky.
I told you, I took the
We need you to
NyQuil.
get over here.
Whatever.
We've got some great trivia questions we want you to answer. Come on, Clarky. Get over here.
Of course.
Stay off.
All right.
Stay off the night.
Yeah, I'm on the drugs tonight
Stay
for
off the
sure.
drugs, yes.
Not
All
working
right,
out.
what's the category today, Brianna?
Of course, it is Expo themed, so we have a different question for each member of the Under One Roof family.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to play Ali Mack and Ali Asmar on the same team. I'll play by myself. Hammond Pinchal, core title, will be playing on his own team, too. All right, question number 1 for a Wednesday night edition of Stump the Clarky. Brianna, go ahead.
Question number 1 is for I Know We Insurance. According to CNBC, Hurricane Irma is estimated to have caused $38 billion in flood damage to homes. But what percentage of that damage was not covered by flood insurance?
So what was the total amount you said?
Percentage is not. Oh, total amount is $38 billion.
So what percentage of the $38 billion was not
not
covered by flood insurance? It's a pretty good question.
That's a good question.
And I Know We Insurance will be out there tomorrow night, too. So if you have any questions about your insurance, you're going to want to come out, and they'll give you some quotes or whatever. They can probably save you money on insurance. Question number 2.
Question number 2 is from Mecca Builders.
Ugh.
As of 2018, what is the most popular home remodel / update for the state of Florida? We're looking
that
for basically which part of the house or what
That
project.
Padima, what is it called?
Pergola.
Pergola? It's probably that pergola.
If you don't spell it correctly.
I still don't know what a pergola is.
Yeah, you're Padima.
Just stop it. Don't make me laugh.
Yeah, you cough a little bit when you laugh. You kill people.
Whatever. All right. Question number 3 for Stump the Clarky. Go ahead.
Question number 3 is for core title. As of 2018, what is the title insurance industry revenue in the United States? As of 2018, what is the title insurance industry revenue in the United States?
Wow.
Give us a hint.
Yeah, him it. Come on, write something down, brother. What you doing? He's like, I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I see what you did there.
And one final question for a Wednesday night edition, pre-Under One Roof Expo edition of Behind the Law. Brianna, what's question number 4?
Yeah, this last question is about Ace Cafe.
Oh.
So you know that Ace Cafe, there's 2 locations. One's in Orlando, the other one's in London. So what year did the original Ace Cafe open?
Because we read it. Remember when we were doing the menu? Do
I feel like it's pretty old.
Yeah, it's old. It's up there.
you think it's in the...
Yes.
Just don't talk out loud, guys.
Well, I mean, look, if you win, you're already cheating by playing together. So you
Right.
know that I don't even care if you win. I'm going to have a lot of...
He's going to have a lot to
things
say to that about that. Say your answer to the
All right,
microphone.
we got them
Alex.
all written down?
Yes.
All right, let's score this contest. I feel like I'm going to lose. All right, question number 1. Brianna, what was it?
Question number 1. According to CNBC, Hurricane Irma did an estimated $38 billion in flood damage to homes. What percentage was not covered by flood insurance?
Let's go with Ali Mack and Ali Asmar to begin. What did you have?
We said 10%.
10%. I think it's got to be higher than that. Hammett Pinchall, what did you have?
I had 65%.
He went way
nice.
higher at 65%. I think that's probably a pretty good guess. I went right in the middle with 46%. What's the right answer?
80%.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Way off.
80%.
Core Title takes
Misunderstood the question.
Core Title takes that one. So it's 1 for Hammett, 0 Justin Clark, 0 for Ali Mack and Ali Asmar. Question number 2.
Question number 2. What is the most popular home remodel or update for the state of Florida?
Hammett, we'll go with you first on that. What did you have?
I had a kitchen.
Kitchen. I went with outdoor area, kitchen, whatever. I didn't know. I still don't know that word. And what did you guys have?
We did kitchen.
Kitchen. What is the correct answer, Brianna?
The number 1 is the living room updates.
What?
Yeah.
Living room.
I never do.
That's just walls.
What is that, like a couch?
You're over here busy doing $500,000 bathrooms. Of course you're not doing that.
What do you do in the living room?
I don't know. But the whole state, that's the number 1 thing.
Okay.
I don't like that. I don't like the question. I don't like the answer. This is for the question.
Clarky, where did you get that answer from?
All right.
That's for your answer.
I know. Whatever. Question number 3 on Stump the Clarky. Go ahead, Brianna.
As of 2018, what is the title insurance industry revenue in the United States?
I'll go first here. I went with pretty high, $8 billion.
It's not bad.
What did you two have?
We had 13.
13 billion? Okay. And Hammett, who was an owner of a title company here?
I probably overshot this, but I put 2 trillion.
2 trillion.
Oh my gosh. Whoa.
I mean, this was nationwide, so.
Yeah.
Are we doing?
We might as well pay off the national debt with that.
Yeah, seriously.
What's the right answer?
Yeah, okay. It's 16 billion.
16 billion. Yeah, you guys win.
Oh, you win. Yeah, you guys got it.
So I believe right now it's 1
So 1.
for Hammett, 1 for the cheaters, Ali and Ali Mack,
The Ellie's.
and 0 right now for Justin Clark. Going into the final question today.
Final question is, what year did the original Ace Cafe open?
The original I know is in London, and the only other one is here,
That's
is my
right.
understanding. And I think that it's pretty old, but I don't remember how old. I went with 1950.
Okay.
What do you guys have?
Oh, 1923.
1923. Hammett, what did you have?
2002.
2002. Well, he doesn't know. He's never been there.
It's more of a modern type of cafe.
And the correct answer, Ace Cafe in London was opened when?
1938.
Oh, no. What did you say?
1938?
Oh, man.
So that's
you got-
15. I win. Are you kidding me? Come on. Don't try to take that. I'll take it. We all tie. We all have 1 today. So
All right.
don't try to take victory right out of my
Don't
hands like
try to
that.
take that.
That's messed up.
He
That
wasn't
is-
feeling that.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for being with us. Clarky, let's get out of here, buddy. My stomach thinks my throat's cut. I'm starving.
All right, good game today. Under One Roof Expo is tomorrow night, 5:30 p.m. Tomorrow night, Thursday night, we're going to have the basketball games on all of the television, so don't use that as an excuse not to come. 5:30.
This is true.
Ace Cafe, downtown Orlando. Your chance to win a $10,000 kitchen from Mecca. $10,000, right?
Yes, sir.
It keeps going down, it seems. I started at 20. Now we're at 10.
Going down.
We'll be at 2 before we know it. And so when you do get there, though, Ali Mack, maybe you can help with this. How do I make sure I enter to win this contest for the kitchen?
Well, for starters, they can register on Eventbrite for the event. If you don't register, that's okay. You can still come. We'll register you at the door. And then at that time, we want you to go to every table to get the information and all that. And then at the end, you're going to put your business card to enter for a chance to win the grand prize.
So what benefit, let's say I'm listening right now to Behind the Law. What benefit am I going to get from coming to this thing? Is it networking? Is it I'm going to be able to talk to some real professionals? Why would I come?
So one of the great things about this event that's going on is not just, of course, the businesses that are going to be there featured, but also we have over 300 people that are already registered. So those are, that in itself is very very important to know. As far as the networking aspect of it, you're going to get people from the mortgage industry, people from the legal industry, the title industry, real estate industry, construction industry. So if you want to go out networking, this is the event where you need to be.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow night, Ace Cafe, 5:30 p.m. for the first annual Under One Roof Expo. Hammett Panchal from Core Title, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Ali Asmar, good job today. Hope you feel better, buddy. For Allie Mack, the beautiful Brianna. I don't know much, Allie Mack, but I do know one little thing.
What is that?
I will see you right back here tomorrow night on ESPN 580 Orlando.